Auto sequence start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, hello there. Welcome, my fellow nonconformist, to another installment of Canned Conversation. My name is Andrew, and with me, as always, my good friend Steven.
Well, hello.
Hello. It's the new year.
Yay. Thank goodness.
Another year is upon us. What, my friend, are your 10 to 15 resolutions you'll be working on throughout 2023? 2023.
2023.
Yes.
I'm not going to make resolutions.
None.
I've made resolutions before, and then I feel really bad when I break them. So
Right.
I'm going to
On January 3rd.
I'm going to make goals on like the 15th of January and go, these are my yearly goals.
Okay.
Does that sound like I'm trying to game a system? Because I kind of feel like when I said it out loud, it is.
I don't know if you recall, but last year when we had our New Year show, I basically said for resolutions, I don't make resolutions because that would be thinking that I had something that I needed to fix.
You need to fix, yeah.
Or something I needed to do different.
Yeah.
So
perfect people don't have to make resolutions. So that's good news.
everything that I do, I'm very happy with continuing
and I'm going to
do.
continue to do exactly the same thing the same way.
My resolution is just to do it harder.
Yes. Wow.
Do what I'm doing now, but even more of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, good on you.
Yes.
Let's go see how that works out for you.
Yeah, excellent. So as we did last year, this year we're going to do the same in that one of us is going to bring a new, unique, or rare canned beverage to try. And while we quench our extreme thirsts, we will do our very best to brainstorm on some brain food, chew on it, and then let you enjoy the
Digest it
contents.
and poop it
Today
out
is
later.
being about unpopular opinions.
Oh, I've got those.
Later in the show, we'll review and rate the canned beverage and let you know if you should try it while watching the various congressional hearings on cryptocurrencies.
No.
I've just recently I got sucked into that vortex because I was at the holiday festivities. A couple of people were talking about FTX and I go, I don't know. I'm not deep into the news. Haven't really been watching it. And I'm not into crypto enough to know it on that front. But my family started watching a movie. I'm like, I'm not really into this. So I got into that vortex, and 3 hours later, I'm a master at all things.
And FTX, and the guy who took over and moved money out of that thing into...
Made his own money, essentially. Has since been arrested and will probably be doing decent jail time.
Yeah. And he said he'll make it right. Let me just tell you what he's not going to be able to do is make
it right.
Non-existent money reappear in people's pockets.
So we're doing better than he is.
Yeah.
Hope he meets his
has a resolution.
resolution.
You're right. He needs a resolution.
Exactly. So let's do this because I can't wait to get into this can.
Good.
Are you talking to me on a cellular phone? I don't know you. Who is this? Don't come here. I'm hanging up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
I can see your brain.
Yeah, I tried to place it. I tried. I don't have it, but I know the quote.
It was like right on. Is it right there?
It was for a minute.
Okay. Quentin Tarantino movie. His best one, best known one. Pulp Fiction.
I was gonna say it's the only Quentin Tarantino movie I would know is Pulp Fiction. I
When
mean, I know
Vincent
he's
Vega calls him from the car.
Yeah.
With the because she's ODing.
I need to rewatch that whole freaking movie.
She's like, she's dying on me here, and he's like, wait, are you talking on a cell phone?
Right.
I'm not here.
I don't know you.
I don't know you.
don't know
Prank
me.
caller. Yeah. And then he just runs right into the front of the house with the car. What an amazing movie. I love that movie so much.
All right. What'd you bring?
All right. That is probably not an unpopular opinion because it was a very popular movie.
Agree. And I haven't watched it in probably
It's been a while.
15 years.
All
I
right.
don't know, it's been a while.
So I hope this is a popular amongst us can I've brought today. I'm going to try to...
Now you're speaking my language.
Right, I'm going to try to do this justice when I say its name.
Good luck with this.
Cazadores.
Cazadores.
And Cazadores makes a spicy margarita. And the reason that I brought this today was my wife loves spicy margaritas. Whenever we go to bar establishments or restaurants and she orders a drink, if they have a spicy margarita option, she gets it. She loves it. So I saw this can. When I was getting other cans, I bought one, brought it home, threw it in the fridge. She drinks it at some point and says, those are amazing. I want more. Get me more. So I'm like, well, all right. Well, I want to get more of those for you, but I also now am intrigued and want to try it myself.
Awesome.
It is a green can with a huge buck on the front. On the top of the name Cazadores, and at the bottom there's like a chili pepper. So
inside of a lime that's shaped like a sun.
Yeah.
If you want, I think, right?
Yes.
And it is 1.9% alcohol by volume, 355 milliliters for our soccer fans out there.
A lot of different good information on the can, ready to drink, so you don't have to do anything to this, like mix it up. It is gluten-free for those people that have an intolerance and maybe are looking for something. Additional information on here, I won't read all of it, but it says it's enough to spice up and make any day a Taco Tuesday.
Well,
so
alrighty then.
I'm looking forward to a spicy margarita. And knowing that margaritas are your fave, I'm interested to get your take, because I don't know if I know you to be a spicy margarita fan necessarily, or maybe you.
I don't mind spice, although I don't have a lot of spicy. I like sweet margaritas, so this will be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm good with trying it though, because it's a margarita, and I'll drink almost any margarita.
Nice. All right. So as I mentioned at the top of the show here, we're going to be talking about unpopular opinions, and it's those things I think that it's sort of known that people have unpopular opinions. So most of the world probably sees these as silly, gross, or just plain wrong, but I think they're kind of fun. One of my favorite spaces on Reddit is the unpopular opinion subreddit. Sometimes they make me laugh. Other times
they make you angry.
Well, no, I'll look at them and I'll go, that's not really an unpopular opinion. It's an unpopular, politically correct opinion sometimes, but I think, a lot of people hold the same opinion and just go, oh, by thinking that I'm somehow perceived as not politically correct or something like that. But true unpopular opinions is kind of what I'm going for.
So I'm trying to make a dividing line for you, which is if it's an unpopular opinion, but only to 50% of the country who believes on the other side of the aisle, whatever side that is, it's not an unpopular opinion. It's just probably going to start an argument.
True.
You're talking about like the you hold a opinion that probably less than 10% of the people in the world hold.
Perhaps, yeah.
Like at least it's on that potential.
Yes, it goes against the major grain.
Okay.
And if you said it at a dinner party, I think you would get something like, oh, or really, or gross, silly, like I mentioned before. I'll get us started. I have a list of 15. I'm not sure that I'm going to get to all of them.
Oh my Lord.
Just as a bit of clickbait, you're never going to believe what number 15 is.
Oh my.
It will be the most divisive.
Yes.
So you'll have to wait and go through the entire show to hear what I believe is probably my most controversial.
Or just hit the skip ahead on Spotify or wherever.
Popular opinion. All right. So my number one, I'm going to come out of the gate swinging.
All right.
Robin Williams was not funny as a comedian.
I don't disagree for the most part.
Okay. Much respect to him.
He's funny in movies.
The unfortunate way he passed, I don't even think in movies. So I'm not a big fan of like Mrs. Doubtfire. It's okay. I watched it, but I'm like, not. I actually like him as a dramatic actor.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He was better in movies
Good Will
than he
Hunting,
was on stand-up.
phenomenal. He won an Academy Award for it. There was a movie called Final Cut, and he's like the bad guy, right? Spoiler alert, but it's really old. Insomnia, also fantastic. He did so good, but his brand of comedy to me was just, he's high energy. Yes. Yeah. But his improv of just suddenly going into weird voices, sporadic.
It throws me off
things
too.
He says, but so many people I feel are just
people love him.
He's a god of comedy.
He's not the god of he's not the god of stand up for sure. His stand up routines, but I agree with you that I love him in movies.
Yeah,
I struggle with him as a stand up comedian. So I'm on the 10% on this one with you.
And unfortunately, and obviously would not have wanted him to go the way he did. Would have liked to see him continue to do, in my opinion, dramatic movies. But so would you consider that sort of unpopular?
Yeah, because he's a comedian. And if you said I only like him in stuff that he's not doing comedy, fairly unpopular because people like him a lot as introduced as well. He was on the improv scene, and then he was in Mork and Mindy, and then he was on, and then it just kind of cut loose from there, right? So he had a long career of doing a lot of very physical comedy, and I love physical comedy, but his high energy, like he loses it with, like, for me, stand-ups lose it for me when they go into characters that I don't understand with voices that I can't like.
I think his energy was very engaging, and I think that's what people, which is great, but I think
he's not that funny.
And so there was a little bit of conversation on that one. One of the things I want to caveat is some of these are going to be simple. Probably not a lot of, that was perfect amount. And at least one of these things is going to garner more than 2 minutes of conversation.
Okay.
That's number 3.
Okay.
So you have to wait until we get to number 3.
Oh, geez.
Clickbait again. I'm just going to, I'll stop doing that. All right.
What's number 2?
My number 2, going outside is overrated.
That's dumb. I'm not on your side here.
We build houses and buildings to get out of the climate. Now, I could understand if you lived in like San Diego where it's like 70 and mostly cloudy or partly cloudy all day, every day. I would go outside and do much more things outside. But just going outside for the sake of going outside, when people are like, hey, we need to get outside because we just need to get outside. To me, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, I'm so the opposite person.
We did all of this work as a society to make ourselves safe. From the beginning of time, we were going into caves, right? Yeah. Do you think the dads were like, kids, go outside of the cave just to because you need to? So
being outside is the best feeling on earth. Period, exclamation point, end of sentence, mic drop.
All right. So
I'm just saying, being outside is so much better than being inside.
And to me, 6'1" half to, and I will say only to me that is if it's like in this beautiful weather, nice weather. Like if it's cold and like 10, 15 degrees out and windy, like it is in the winter here, because we have all of the seasons, or if it's in the summer and it's 100 degrees outside, I'll go outside for a second and I'm like, this is blistering. I don't want to just stand out here because society thinks going outside is fun and cool.
I don't think being outside all the time is the most comfortable thing in the world to do. But I do think observing the world and nature and being outside like brings your mind peace. Like being outside is being unconfined by the world, and being inside is being confined by the walls that you've purchased or built.
Yes, but you purchased them for a reason.
To sleep there.
Yeah, if you were...
That's why we had caves. All right, keep going. Sorry.
And that's all good.
You and I are not... I'm going to keep track of how many we agree or disagree on.
Nice.
So I'll keep a disagree column.
All right.
1 so far. 1 out of 2.
And I even have, we make sunscreen, we make umbrella, we make all these things to make it okay and pleasant to be outside. But for the most part... And if you want vitamin D, because I thought that's might be where you went, take a supplement. You can.
No, okay. So we make sunscreen so that you don't die from being outside, right. But we do things inside your house so you don't die from being in. Like we vent your hot water heater in your furnace because if we didn't, it would kill you inside your house.
Agreed. Yeah.
So we do things like inside that keep us from dying too.
True.
You have a smoke detector, not because being inside your house is safer. It's certainly not safer in a fire. Like you have to go outside if your house is on fire.
Yes.
Okay.
But stay inside when there's a tornado and get low.
Right.
All right. Here's the big one. So that one, these were a couple easy ones. I think this one is going to be just a smidge bigger. Right. I've seen this posted on some socials. So I just took the post, and no one I know actually posted this, but it got shared, and it got shared more than once. So if you're a person that shared this, I apologize in advance, but I'm just going to read this to you.
Okay.
This is the post from a guy named Brian started this, but I've heard the same sentiment a lot.
Damn it, Brian.
Dear Walmart, you are almost exclusively self-checkout now. The last time I was there, the lady checking receipts at the exit was stopping everyone. I chose not to participate in the foolishness, so I just skipped to the exit line and left. I heard her saying, "Sir, sir," as I kept walking. I simply raised my hand above my head and shook my receipt as I kindly left the store. You can either trust me to do self-checkout, or you can put your cashiers back in place so they can resume the position. I'm not interested in the job, so if I fall short, oh well. I'm also not interested in providing that I did your job for you. You expect me to be a cashier with no training, then that's your problem, not mine. Don't audit me for the position if you refuse to employ me any longer. Signed, all of us. I would like to say, Brian, take my name off that. I do not agree with that. in full.
Yeah.
Full period, stop, and all that. So do you want? Here's my thoughts, and you can chime
give
in
me
if
your
you
thoughts.
want.
I want your unpopular opinion.
When you go into Walmart, you are going there for a reason. You're going there for their rollback pricing, their economy of scale, and their ability to have pricing that's lower than if you were to go to a place that is more service oriented. You are choosing to do that. And there might be people that go, well, there are Walmarts in towns that have shut down some other places. I get that, but there are still other opportunities where you can go to. If you're looking for a grocery store, there's 2 major chains in my area alone that if you pay a premium, you will get a cashier and you will get a bagger and someone that bring your cart in for you when you're done. You are not paying to get serviced there. You are paying for the lower prices. And you're making a contract when you walk in the door that you are abiding by their rules in order to get their pricing. So this whole idea of you becoming a cashier and they're taking out cashiers, that is allowing them to give you the price that you're paying, that you want to have. So your complaints are silly because you're choosing to go there. If you went to a different place and paid more, then you would get the service. You would get the higher quality service. And you could go into really highfalutin places because I chose in one instance over Christmas, I was like, I'm done with certain shopping places. I went into a gift wrap specialty store and they came over and they took my gift wrap from me whenever I picked one out and they put it up on the register and asked me and said, hey, do you want to know what matches with that? Primo service. But I paid for that.
What kind of store? A gift wrap
we're not,
store?
The Hallmark store. If I'm saying them out loud.
They don't sponsor us.
I know, but they should. Okay. So I don't, free advertising, I guess. But my point is, I knew when I went in there, I would have less lines, not as many people, superb service, but I would be paying a premium. And I knew that going in. And I did. I paid a premium on my gift wrapping because I was just done with being at certain stores. I knew that. Would you like to jump in?
So I'd be interested in Brian's other posts. Like if Brian's like, hey, I think we should raise minimum wage to $18 an hour or something crazy too, where you go, hey, you know why there's nobody there to check you out at the self-checkout? Oh yeah, it's because it costs a lot of money and they can automate all that. And just know, I don't disagree with you. Like if they have to check your receipt, it's because they're protecting assets of theirs. Like they're making sure that,
again, trying to keep costs low.
Yes.
Because that's all
because in
theft or loss if you're not thieving, but accidentally doing something.
But people coming in for
into
cheap
the equation.
Products at mass quantities, you have to protect your own assets. And 2 is if you want to pay a whole bunch of clerks to stand there and check you out, it's everything you just bought is going to cost you more money because the cost of people went up. So would you rather pay more money? If that case, you can go to
no, because that kind of person wants their cake and eat it too. And they want all of it. And
stop by the lady. Stop being a doofus inconvenient person.
And it's signed all of us. So if all of us really had such a problem with this, because I also heard, like, again, I was at a family function. Somebody was talking about being your own cashier and all that. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Right. And we engaged on that one. I'm like, normally I won't, but I'm like, I take issue with this because if all of us supposedly who signed this said we're done with all this self-cash and checkout and being responsible and blah, blah, blah. If we all stopped going to Walmart, guess what would happen?
Or if we all stopped using self-checkout.
And if that's your only option, you just walked out. If no one shopped there, they would change. They vote with your wallet, right? They will
vote with
change.
your wallet, vote with your feet.
Yeah.
That's how you do things.
Yeah.
Agree.
Don't make silly social posts that make you seem like you're Mr. Cool Guy because, they're making me do these things that I'm not getting paid for. Ha, ha, ha.
The bandwagon jumpers go, that Brian guy is smart.
Right.
And I'm going to like that and share it.
I hate Walmart too, but I go there every day.
I go there every day. I do the self-checkout and I've never griped once, but that Brian guy's onto something.
I don't know if that's unpopular then, but it signed all of us. So I was
it's not signed me because I think that's dumb.
I was like, if I could respond to Brian, please take my name off this.
Right.
I want you to list everyone now.
I want you to
not me. All right. My next one here.
Yeah. 3. This is controversial.
That was number 3.
Oh, damn it.
This is number 4. People that celebrate and incorporate 420 as a lifestyle are annoying. Anything that takes over as a person's entire persona to me is off-putting. If you're going to smoke marijuana, Do it. Have a good time. We've talked on this thing. We believed in the legalization, right? Like I'm all for people recreationally using it medicinally. But when all of a sudden everything is 420 and you're like, oh, dude, it's 420. You know, we're going to light up like for whatever. And I was in college. when, and a lot of things were going on, you know, but
a lot of things.
So there were friends, there were people that I knew and I hung out with. They're like, dude, it's 420. What are we going to do? Let's light up a J. And I'm like, really?
There was a lot of things going on.
Why the significance of this silly time? And then having a pot leaf on a lot of things that you wear.
Yeah. Being part of a movement is what you're revolting against right now.
And back then it was illegal, so maybe I could
But now it's like, whatever. Like, it's not a movement anymore. It's moved.
Yeah.
The movement has moved.
Any thoughts from you on that one? Do you agree or disagree?
I don't disagree. I think I'm with you on this. Is that
not truly unpopular then?
No, it's damn it. Yeah, give me something that's super unpopular.
This is one that I think is gonna push a button here. Watching movies in a movie theater is worse than watching them at your home. Wait a minute, you might agree with that one.
Oh yeah,
we had this same.
I started this movement. Are you kidding me? I hate going to the theater.
This is the one though.
I worked at a movie theater.
My wife is so adamant. She's so opposite on the other way.
I hate it. Oh yeah, I would. I mean, it has to be. Well, it has to be. I owe my wife a favor or something. Like it has to be a miracle to get me into it. I haven't been in a movie theater in years.
Yeah,
and that's not just because COVID. It's just I hate going. I don't want to go. I want to watch. Yeah. I want to sit on my couch, and I want to go pee when I want to, and I want to stop and get food when I want to, and be able to press pause when I want to.
All that.
Turn it up. I like all of that. I want it at my convenience. I don't want to pay $100 to go for two of us to go watch a movie and eat. Which for one, I want dots. So those are like $40 for dots and a soda. Anyway, yeah, no, not going.
Yeah, all of what you said, plus I put today's TVs and people that own projectors and the sound systems we have. I don't feel like we're missing out on the experience. I mean, you sit real close to your 60-inch television. It's going to be bigger than what you see at a movie theater because you're probably sitting 100 feet back. And then, the pee pause is a big thing, being able to do that. And no annoying people around you to ruin the experience is a big one for me.
Yeah, and I will go to a movie if it's one of those ones that nobody gives a crap about, or it's been out for so long that no one's going to. It's like if there's only like two other people in the theater, I'm in. I can go do that.
Yeah.
But if I'm packed into there's not a movie made that I could even think of that I would want to go see that.
And I get the fact that the way the movie industry works, and it sucks for movie theaters because they don't get hardly any money out of the ticket sales. So their concessions is the only place they can put margins. And that's why they have to make your bag of popcorn $30 in order to make some money, in order to play that movie. It's just broken the way that whole system works, in my opinion. I mean, you got to bring the cost of concessions down, which means tickets should be more, theaters should get more
equally
of that money.
Spread, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
When they say a movie's made $100 million, I want the movie theaters to be enjoying some of that success. Right. I don't feel like that. I
don't care about the movie theaters if they're successful or not, because if they went away, I wouldn't care. Keep going.
As they stand now. 6, parents of older children who try and guilt their kids into grandkids are selfish and should be ashamed. So basically, if you have kids that are of the marrying age and you're like, oh, Charlie, when are we going to see grandkids? You should immediately feel the sting of shame and wonder why you just said that out loud.
Oh, good news, man. I disagree with you.
Do you?
I don't like it, but I also think that's part of the natural progression of life as you go. I want to know that my kids have moved on and are having kids and families of their own, and they're going to be okay when I'm gone. I think that's part of the natural progression of life. It just manifests itself into I want grandkids, and grandkids are more fun than kids because they're not yours. You send they're
that's snotty. The selfish part of it.
Agree,
because you want the easy part of kids.
I do. I did the hard part.
Right.
Like I already did the hard part. I want the easy part. And if you're neglecting my need for having the easy part, screw you. Go have some kids, dang it, so I can fulfill my life. I'm just kidding. But I think I get it. I don't love it. I think that's crappy to do to somebody to make them feel obligated to have a child. That's not really okay. But I think it's a natural.
It just
progression.
happens so often, and it puts undue pressure on people.
Oh, yeah.
And then it does make people feel like they have to have kids. It is okay not to have kids.
Most people shouldn't.
Right. We tell our kids all the time, if you grow up and decide not to have kids, it's okay. I will not think of any less of you. In fact, I will probably go, I'm a little jealous because you get a lot more money than I did.
Look at all the fun you got to have for this 2 decades of time that I spent raising your crazy butt.
Yeah.
I think that conversation needs to happen though. Like if you don't want to have kids, just tell your parents. I don't want to have. I'm not in the mood to have.
Some parents don't take that as an answer though. They'll just turn around and go, oh, and then they'll make it a guilt trip, right? Yeah. They're like, oh, we're not going to get the joys of spending.
Nope, you're not. You're going to get grand dogs or grand cats or grand ferrets, whatever you're into.
All right. This one, I know you and I are not going to see eye to eye on, or just about halfway. So that's pretty good because this is number 7.
Okay.
I believe there was a lone gunman, that it was Lee Harvey Oswald, and it was from the book's depository. I'll just say someone may have put him up to it, may not have been his idea alone, but all of the millions of hours of media spent on the various... the man on the grassy knoll, all of there's so many, right? Just watch the movie JFK and they'll give you all of them probably.
Right. Yeah.
But I believe sometimes in the Occam's razor that the simplest answer is usually
right
probably correct. And the fact that there was literally a smoking gun from where he was sitting. So probably shot that gun, probably hit him. And that he did it.
So this is,
but you're a conspiracy theorist, so I thought that would hit with you.
This is legitimately not a reliable source, but we did watch an episode of Bones, which is a TV show.
Not sponsored by them.
No, but we should be. And they covered this, and the funny thing is they're like, here's all the reasons he couldn't have done it, and so they tried to prove that it wasn't him, and they're like, he wasn't a very good shot. Here's the actual gun. He couldn't have pulled the trigger twice in that short a period of time and been on target on a moving target and hit basically two heads at once. Like, it's amazing the shot that he pulled off if he did it.
All right.
And he's not known for his marksmanship. So with that said, I could buy in, and I know that the government lies to us about all kinds of things. That's their job. Their job is to protect themselves and not necessarily always protect our interests.
I understand.
So I'm going to go with, I disagree with you.
Here's just as a quick side note to that, though, to your point. I'm a relatively good shot, and I've gone to the range and I've put the silhouette approximately 10 feet away from me and missed a headshot.
Yeah. Right.
So whoever else was shooting a gun, if you're of the ilk that it was not Lee Harvey Oswald, someone else had to make a really good shot as well, right? I mean, he's still in a moving car. It's still a headshot, and it's from way farther away than 6 feet, because otherwise it would have been clearly a person standing there pointing a gun on the tape.
On the tape, you just seen it.
Yeah. So someone made a hell of a shot. It was him. That's my point.
My point is it's not. So I'm going to go with, I'm at number 3 that I disagree with you on your unpopular opinions of 7.
I'm going to finish this number 8 out here real quick, and then we'll do because number 9 is really going to hit you right between the eyes.
Awesome.
Right after we rate a beer, you're going to wait to have Stephen might have a come apart on the next one. On number 8, tater tots are better than French fries.
Disagree. That's dumb.
I'll take it one step farther. French fries are not even the best thing at McDonald's. The mocha frappe is the best thing on their menu, and their best sandwich is the fish fillet. But the French fries, whatever. I like tater. I'll eat them. That's not to say they're bad. I don't think they're disgusting. They're all right. There's something to eat on the side. But I'd much rather have tater tots. They're so good. No words.
Yeah, you're wrong. I mean, it's
all of the above.
No, you're not wrong about McDonald's. Everybody makes so big a deal about their French fries, and I could care less. Like fries, like honestly,
you could care less
about McDonald's fries. Like whatever.
Or couldn't care less.
I couldn't either way. I could, but it'd be hard, or I couldn't at all. I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
Hardee's curly fries, or Carl's Jr. wherever you're at in the country.
Right. Your favorite
by far. Beat anything from McDonald's.
All right.
With that said, I don't I mean, I'll eat. I'm the opposite of you. I will eat tater tots, especially if they have cheese drizzled all over them.
Yes, little bacon bits too.
Yeah,
Or something.
yeah. Make it look like a loaded baked potato. But I would much rather have fries. Much rather.
Is it for the dip? Do you dip?
I think it's the
Do you have to dip fries?
I think it's the functionality of fries. They're like long enough to where you can like dip them and still eat, versus tater tots, which you have to like your whole, my big giant mitt covers most of the tot, and it's hard to dip and eat. And
I think one
like the texture.
Here, I didn't even put this down because I was running out of space. I knew we wouldn't have enough time for all my unpopular opinions. But one of the reasons I don't like fries as much is because you have to eat them with your hands and they get all grimy and greasy. And I eat things out of cups that I don't like to touch. So like my chips and crackers.
So you just roll those things into your mouth out of a cup?
No, but you can use a fork with tater tots.
Okay.
You could technically use a fork with fries, and I've tried that once, but you just look like a doofus doing it. And then when they're going in sideways, they got to fold into your mouth.
You're like
midpoint.
you're like a dog trying to carry a stick across a bridge,
Exactly.
right? Yeah. You look like an idiot.
You look like So I do like the taste though. That better because there's a little bit more inside to outside ratio.
I also don't like hash browns, and I think tater tots to me remind me of hash browns.
All hash browns, or
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of hash browns. In any
I will
shape
say McDonald's hash browns are the best hash browns because they're just a giant tater tot.
right, which is why I probably don't like them either.
Right, there are 5 tater tots just smashed into
into a
oval
triangle.
shape.
It's an oval there.
It's that long.
Yeah.
It's not quite a rectangle because it's got rounded edges.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right.
Whew.
I know. So we're doing pretty good here.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
We got 4 out of 8. So half of your unpopular opinions I don't agree with.
Nice. All right, let's rate this thing. So you're a huge margarita fan. I hope so. I'm very interested to see what you think of this. I do like and enjoy margaritas. I am surprised at how much I liked this. I'm not normally one that says I want to put a heavy spice into alcohol because I think those two kind of go against each other sometimes. I know some of the things aren't really spicy, like hot damn. It's mostly cinnamon, or fireball. It's like a cinnamon. Yeah. But if you do like a habanero whiskey, to me sometimes that habanero takes up too much space.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how will this be? And I like the subtlety of the spice in here. It's not overwhelming, so I am definitely tasting margarita. Mm-hmm. But instead of that soury finish, which sometimes I don't like, because we've talked about margaritas and how if you put just like straight sweet and sour, which is like bottom of the barrel, then you get that soury pucker.
Yeah.
Whereas this finishes off with a little tinge.
A little tongue numbing.
But it's not overwhelming. But I also like spicy stuff.
Yeah.
So if some people might go, it's too spicy, perhaps. But for me, this is subtle enough that it makes for a good finisher on a otherwise decent margarita. So I'm going to go with a 4 because it's not as good as like the custom made one I had from Andy, which was a 5.
Agreed. It's not an Andy's.
It's a little bit bigger than a 3 because if we're going to do margaritas, I might now order a spicy margarita somewhere. Like I might prefer and go, hey, I'm going to try a spicy. You see what I'm saying? So that's where the 4 comes in, is where I think I'm going to lean towards that if most spicy margaritas are like this.
Cool. So you're at a 4. If you're looking for great margarita recipes, Drinks with Andy on Instagram, check them out. Check him out. He puts out all kinds of fun drinks, but he makes a fabulous, he was on the show, but he makes a fabulous margarita. This is not Andy's margarita.
Definitely.
So in short, I am at a 3, but it is I feel like it's a decent margarita flavor. But I'm kind of intrigued by the spice on it. And I will probably go find them again. I don't know. I like it. Again, it's a margarita. I can drink a bunch of them.
Yes.
But
it's not overly spicy.
No, it's not overly spicy,
good.
and it's not overly margarita-y, like sweet and soury or like whatever. And it's not super, like it's only 4.5%, 5.9% alcohol by volume.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's crazy strong margarita. I like a good crazy strong margarita sometimes too, but yeah. So I'm at a 3. I'm not super jazzed. Like I'm going to go push this on people but I am probably, if I see it in the store, I might pick it up and probably have my wife try it. she likes margaritas too. So yeah.
So just know that I had to buy
3.
6 of them with this lot that I bought because my wife wanted her own like 4-pack. Actually, I bought 7. I bought 3 from the cooler individually and for the show. And I was like, hey, do you guys have any more of this? And they're like, oh, we got these 4-packs are down at the bottom. And so then I added a 4-pack to it because she wanted her own.
Oh my! Do they only sell them by themselves? This is a weird size. And
No, they come in 4-packs, but I guess the liquor store that I go to, they have a refrigerated section where they put one, singles.
Onesies. Lucy's is what we call them.
Lucy's.
I would like to buy a Lucy. Yeah, cool. So I'm at a 3. You're at a 4. That's pretty decent.
Yeah.
I think that's, overall, going to drink it again.
Would recommend.
All
right. Let's get back into unpopular opinions.
Great. This one's going to send me over the edge.
When you're going to have it come apart.
Make it happen.
Fishing is a hobby for the intellectually challenged. You are literally trying to outwit a fish.
Yeah. I do a lot of things for intellectually challenged people. Obviously, I disagree with you.
Yes.
With that said, I do think fishing is I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy hunting, but I do enjoy trying to outsmart things that are dumber than I am.
Although, I will say at least a fellow mammals or birds of a feather. So like people that deer hunt, those things have brains that are bigger than the size of a pea.
Yeah.
Which is what a fish has.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you what,
I will give you fishing for survival. If you need food and you want, so if you are a person that goes and catches fish and goes, I want to catch my dinner, that I can get on board with. But it's sort of that hobby-esque.
The people who go, I want to go catch
I
release
as many
bass as possible, and I can fish every day. Like those.
Yeah.
So to me, I got
boring.
I got kind of burnt out on crappie and bass fishing. And I'll still do it because I enjoy fishing. I just trying to trick a fish is fun. So it's like trying to beat a 5-year-old at basketball.
It's checkers.
Done. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Smarter than you.
Come out here, 3-year-old. Let's play some b-ball.
No, but I'll tell you what. Like you can amp it up to different levels. I don't understand people who go, I'm going to be a professional crappie fisherman. I would literally drown myself.
So you're talking what, shark?
But like you got in the ocean, you're like
sail fins that are like
there's a lot of
100
places,
pounds.
Yeah, there's a lot of places in the ocean where fish aren't. You can be a lot of those places where you can't catch fish. And there's way more of an art form to finding things that you're not used to. So there's part of it is going, I'm trying to figure out problems. Like so there's a problem solving aspect to fishing that I think is really interesting, which I love, is how do I catch this type of fish that I've never caught before? Or how do I go to a place and fish somewhere and I have to go figure it out? I have to look at depth finders and try and different lures and different bait combinations and different speeds and all this kind of stuff. You have to it's problem solving. So for me, there's a both relaxing and a problem solving piece of fishing that I really love.
That's what all of the fishermen that I know, fisherwomen too, I guess, say. Yeah. It's just
you're not
boring as all hell. You can,
but there's also an aspect of fishing that's very similar to this show, which is, and that's the reason I duck hunt and I don't deer hunt, is because I can go out and have a social event,
right,
and not care what the outcome, if I get anything or not. I can just go. But this is part of it, is I go spend time outside, which you don't like.
It's not that I don't like it. I just say it's overrated.
It's not.
I like going outside, but I don't think it's the end all be all.
I'm still bent on that one.
And I agree with you. The only times I've ever gone fishing were with other people, and I just talk and I throw in
and couldn't care less what happens.
Doesn't even matter.
Like it could be just line. Right. I'm just throwing line in the water.
I start to actually act like that. A young person who you're going to play basketball with, probably, because I just go, how far can I throw this?
Yeah.
How far can I cast?
Yeah. Sit there and drink a beer and have a good conversation is good fishing. Literally. I couldn't care less if we take anything home. Same with hunting. I've gotten to the point where I don't have to kill something all the time. I just
to be satisfied.
I go out and have a good conversation, or go sit and with my thoughts for 6 hours in the cold. I love it. It's perfect.
All right. Well, I knew that one would get you.
Yeah, you're a jerk.
This one is our female audience is going to take issue with.
Oh, God.
Contractions or / childbirth is probably not the most painful thing a person can experience. I'll actually say it's not the most painful thing a person can experience. I think
Don't say kidney stones.
Oh, no, I don't know. I haven't had kidney stones, but I will say I've watched that TV show 1,000 Ways to Die. I'm pretty sure 998 of those were more painful than having childbirth. Also, nothing against women or childbirth or the fact that it's painful. I get it. It's painful. Do you want to do it? No. Did they invent some drugs so that you can be less painful? Yes. Take advantage. The people that don't want to do drugs,
what's wrong with you?
I get it. Like there's a certain reasoning for it, but I would be saying let's err on the side of not doing that. And my also to those, because usually when I say that out loud, sometimes women will take a bit of offense and go, "Oh, you don't know. You've never had to do it. You've never had a contraction." I said, "Well, you've never been kicked in the beans either." But I would put that on par. I've been kicked in the beans before, and I didn't know my own name for probably 4 or 5 minutes. And then it lingered for a long time. So now I get contractions span out over a longer period of time. I'm not.
Have you been kicked in the beans for 12
repeatedly?
hours?
Once every 3 minutes?
Yeah, once every 3 minutes for 12 hours or 20 hours.
Not trying to say comparatively speak. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't say it's painful. I hear like the acrimonious like, childbirth is the most painful thing a person can experience. I'm like, well, I don't know how you would measure that necessarily. I'm sure someone's tried. But it's what do you got?
I wrote down that I disagree with you. Because I don't know what that experience is like. I just know something really big is coming from a place that's really fairly small. That seems bad. It
seems painful.
It looks really almost unhumanly
right.
painful.
And I've heard people like the old adage of, well, why don't you try to take a watermelon and squeeze it out this orifice that you have? And I'm like, I totally understand that, except for your body scientifically does things in order to make it to get there.
Agree.
Like it's not apples to apples to say squeeze a watermelon out of your tush.
I don't know contractions, so I can't tell. I mean, I've had like stomach cramps, like a pre-poop stomach cramp, and I've been like, that's not great. But I would guess it's pretty painful, but I wouldn't think the contractions are unbearable. The physical duration of labor.
Truth. I get that.
I can't fathom. Like, I don't know what that, I don't
get the epidural people.
Yeah, agree.
Just do
people
it.
who do it with no meds, something's wrong with you. You're tormented. You like pain. But even with meds, I don't think it's going to be great. In the recovery time,
well, it's not great.
No, most painful thing without meds ever. But then there's like a pain afterwards too, of like stuff rips and things are bad. And like dude, you're on your own on this one.
There you go.
I'm taking women's side. For those who want to know, you can email us at canconvo@gmail.com. That goes straight to Andrew.
Well, okay, so I figured if I'm going to go one on that side, I'll go one on the other side here for men. Spitting in the urinal does not make you more manly, and sitting to pee does not make you less manly. This just occurred.
What?
It wasn't on my list, but I remembered it when it was happening. I was at a public place. I went in to use the restroom.
Were you sitting on the urinal while spitting?
I wasn't sitting. No, those are two different things.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
But the first thing is, there was some other guy, and he's like hawking, and I'm not going to do this because people listening, I apologize, but you get the idea.
Throw up.
Right? He's like hawking this stuff, and then spitting it into the urinal. And I've seen this so many times. Like guys walk up to the urinal and they do this, like the spit thing that they do.
How does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me, but I feel like it's this thing that it makes. When you're around other dudes that are walking up to your urinal, it's like a display of manliness or something. Like I spit. Right, like I need to spit. I'm going to spit in this urinal that I'm about to pee in. It just for me. There's no you. Like, do you just spit just when you're sitting around? Like, I mean, do you spit that often, or do the two somehow join? Because when I have to pee, I don't have to just spit spontaneously. I just feel like spitting into the urinal is a thing, and it's not for the act of. It's not like you really have to spit. You're doing it for the thing.
Oh, I've never even thought of it.
And I feel like it's sort of a manly thing. Like people go, yeah, I'm going to spit into this urinal.
If you're chewing or something, I can buy that. But I was so in my head when you said it, I first went to, I need like the things that you can do in a men's bathroom that you shouldn't do while you're outside of a men's bathroom, like in public. Like if you go into a men's bathroom, honk up a loogie and spit it, or fart, or like whatever, whatever you need to do inside the bathroom,
all right. I'll take that.
Where you're in a safe space where people aren't gonna be like, oh my God, I can't believe you just farted in the bathroom. Shut up. You're in a men's bathroom. That's what's gonna happen.
I don't care if you spit.
And then you walk back out. Don't go hawking loogies on like the sidewalk and crap. That's ridiculous. Like that's, but if you're doing it because you're like, I'm not going to spit this nasty loogie up and out in public, I'm going to do it in the bathroom. Then I'm good with you.
And I get it. My only point was you don't have to.
It doesn't make you more manly.
It doesn't make you more manly.
It doesn't increase your value.
And
in my
sitting
eyes.
to pee doesn't make you less manly. Like, so I will say I sit to pee quite often. Most of the time, in the middle of the night, especially, I don't even want to open my eyes. I can tactilely get to the bathroom. You just, without light off, sit, go. Sometimes just more efficient, depending on what you're wearing.
You're a very efficient person.
Yeah, I am. And or if you're not done doing something on your phone and you're like, I don't want to take time to figure out the standing piece. I'm just going to, I have gym shorts on. Boom, easy peasy.
I feel like
I don't mind saying I sit to pee. It's just, but I stand when I need to. I sit.
I'm
when I
glad
need
we
to.
all had this conversation then. So I don't think that makes you less manly, but I also don't think standing to pee is hard.
It's not hard.
Is it the aiming process that you're?
I'm just saying, like with everything, if you have two ways of doing something, you don't just cut one out because you go. Because I think I think it's sort of like a manly thing. I go, men that go, yeah, I sit and pee. It's like, oh, really? Like sometimes there's a kind of like
you must like other men because you sit to pee.
It's not a homosexual thing. It's like. Like I said, it's just again, it comes with
men have a pecking order, and you're at the lowest if you sit to pee.
I'm just saying, you wouldn't think that, like you wouldn't have that.
I'm open-minded. I can. So I'm on the other side of the fence with this. I'm disagreeing. I marked myself disagreeing with you.
I'm not even sure what we're disagreeing with.
What are we agreeing?
Yeah, we're fine. Yes, you're disagreeing.
Okay, good.
You're standing and hawking loogies in the urinal and all day, thinking you're manly, and I'm like, I'll do whatever I want and not spit.
Okay, great.
I'll sit and not spit.
Where are we at?
Number 11.
Okay.
Sleeping naked is not sexy. If it's comfortable for you, sure. If that's your thing, go for it. But I just feel like in the movies and in TV shows and stuff, it's like, it's sort of this. Oh, I sleep naked. I sleep, with no clothes on. Oh, okay. In real world, things get in the way.
Yeah,
I've tried it once. I'm like, this is not for me.
Yeah, I think agree. It's been romanticized.
Yeah.
And maybe you can sleep naked if you don't have a lot of floppity round parts or something. if that's helpful. But like, I don't know. I just think most men and women have, floppity around parts, and you're like, you want some sort of like.
I want to sleep well, so I don't want to wake up going things are uncomfortable. I have to move around, and if I can, have a few minor things of clothes on to do that. Then.
And I think some of it is, it's
fine.
Skin sticking to skin is a gross feeling, regardless. And so the more you can minimize that of like having everything go like because you get sweaty or whatever. Yeah, I don't disagree with you on this one, so I'm with you.
All right. Well, cool. So that's it. Where are we at? Still at 50-50 now?
No, I don't know.
So we're at number 12.
I'm at 7.
All right. So you're more disagreeing, right? Because you're only writing down the disagrees.
Yeah.
All right. Number 12. We're in the home stretch here.
All right.
Oh, you know what? My bad. Because I slipped in that extra one. So this is actually 12.
Oh.
All right. Actually, this is 13.
This is 13 out of 15, right?
Yes. All right, number 13. French kissing is not fun. I think teenagers. I think that's an activity for teenagers. Now, I'm not saying all kissing. I'm saying French kissing, the thing where you put your mouth together, open them, and stick your tongue in the other person's mouth. And when I say it like that, it probably doesn't even come off. It comes off as a little less appealing. But kissing your partner on the lips, great. Kissing them on the neck, the cheek, the forehead, all those are very intimate. But for some reason, when you're a teenager, I feel like it's
the forehead is intimate?
Yeah, like if you come over to somebody sitting on, they're sitting and they're doing something and you just lean over and kiss them on the forehead.
Okay.
That's intimate. So unless you don't believe so, which may be an unpopular opinion. But you know, the whole thing when you're like a teenager and you're sort of just coming of age and you haven't quite graduated to more fun stuff with mouths, you're like, let's put them together and let's make our tongues dance. It seems to be like kind of a thing, but it's not fun. Like, that's just my unpopular. I think people view like kissing very intimately is with mouth open and some tongue touching.
Yeah, I disagree with you.
Okay. Your noses are right next to each other. You're breathing at each other in this weird way, and
so funny. So
you never know where the tongue's supposed to go, and are we dancing? Are you pushing and pulling? And like, there's just, I don't know for what.
For what? What's the purpose here?
Because it is.
All right. So my two things on this. One is when you're a kid, like a teenager,
right?
Everything's awkward.
Yeah, true.
That is the worst form of French kissing known to man. Is between 13 or whenever you started
prepubescent.
And like you have if you know, your partner doesn't. If you both don't know, it's the ugliest, sloppy nonsense ever, right? Like it's just bad. Yeah. But I do think it's the more in sync you are with your partner, the more romantic and intimate it can be. And I think it still can be a good thing. I don't think it's full on my tongue down your throat kind of thing, but I don't think you should
just
exclude
tongue
it.
Involved to me is French kissing. And if there's tongue that
there
moves past your lips,
the threshold,
of your lips,
you don't think that the tongue should cross the threshold
and it goes into their mouth.
You don't think that
becomes French kissing? I know you can do it all day. Anyone can do that.
You just think
my unpopular
disgusting.
opinion is I don't think it's disgusting. I just don't think that it's fun. Like it doesn't. It's not. To me, it's not really intimate. I feel like.
Okay. All right. I've already marked my tally down. So I
as a
disagree
no,
with you.
you're like no go.
Yeah.
All right. Number 13, staying in the realm of
French kissing.
French kissing. No, just things that are sort of in term. You'll see what I mean here.
Okay.
People that use terms of endearment to strangers, they call them hun, honey, sweetie, sweetie pie. They're phony, and they're doing it for their own benefit for whatever reason. Number one, if you're like a waitress, you're trying to get tips or if you're in a service job in particular, like, hey, honey, what do you want to drink? Again, don't think any less of you. I'm not going to sit there and judge you and go, oh my gosh, this person is what. But I never go, oh, they're so sweet. They're calling me honey because they really think that I'm a honey, right?
Right.
Or a sweetie or sweetie pie. The only other reason I can think of is that they're saying it sort of condescendingly, like in the South, when they go, oh, sweetie, right? It's that. Okay. You're dumb, but in my Southern way,
right? Bless your heart,
right? Bless your heart.
Bless your heart is the the old "fu" kind of thing.
Yeah. But I translated that to a term of like, oh, sweetie.
Yeah. So this, I don't think
it's creepy if you do it to a stranger.
So unfortunately, I think I agree with you, and I don't think it bothers me. I don't know where that puts me, but I do think you as a Southern person are trying to be more like, or any waitress service job, you're trying to be more personable,
right?
Without saying sir, like formal and sir and ma'am kind of stuff. So it's a how do I build rapport so that we have a good interaction, so I get more money in a tip. I can buy that. It doesn't bother me.
So buttering you up is sort of establishing, because they're calling you something that's sort of a term of endearment. Things that are normally reserved for, like, you say to your wife, hey, hun.
Unless it makes my wife uncomfortable that they're calling me that, then it's not okay anymore. But it doesn't bother me because I pay for an experience when I go to a place. And that may be part of it, is you making me feel like I'm special for some reason, or you cared, 1 iota more about me than you do the guy sitting behind me.
Yeah. And again, if we both go in knowing that, I don't mind them saying honey.
Okay.
Like, I don't go, can you please stop that? It's making me uncomfortable. I'm just saying, like, let's not pretend.
You're disingenuous. You're not doing this to me because I'm special. You're doing this to every single
I'll
customer.
I'll smile and go with it. And I'm not going to tip you any less. And I might tip you a little bit more if you're really friendly. But just, it's sort of a weird, to me, I've always felt it a little weird when someone that you don't know calls you honey. But maybe it's, again, in the South, they do a lot more of that. And I'm not really from the South that I think of.
If you move down there, though, just get used to it.
People in my same state think that they're from the South. So like, it's just weird. We're in a weird, that middle section.
Mason-Dixon line.
That's not even that's not really a thing. That's way up in the north.
No.
Yeah, it is.
What?
Look it up.
Keep going.
It's way up there. All right. And
14?
this is the last one.
Oh, this is 15? Oh, my gosh. All right. This is the one we've been waiting for.
Yep. This is the one that will be the great separator of people. This is the one that's probably the most.
All right.
I feel like it. Well, I wouldn't actively seek to do it. Using a toothbrush that someone else has used would not be terrible.
I've used a toothbrush other people
and not just your wife, maybe because you're willing to French kiss her.
Oh yeah,
so
agree. I've used my kids' toothbrush and I don't French kiss either one of them.
I just feel when the toothbrush stuff kind of comes up, the whole so many people get really bent. Or if it dropped on the floor, I'd have to throw it away.
Yeah.
You know, the whole Seinfeld episode when she uses his toothbrush and he's like, he freaks out, right? Like
it's Sheldon Cooper and Big Bang Theory, right? Like that's his you're getting kicked out of my life kind of scenario, right? Like you can't touch a toothbrush. Anyway, so yeah, I don't get bent out of shape about I don't get germs in general don't bother me. So
yeah, same here. I mean, if I was using if I'm like, would you rather me not brush my teeth this morning, or the only way can I use this toothbrush over here, and then I take it, I run it under hot water,
scalding hot water,
and then I put toothpaste on it, which is a cleaning agent with fluoride and stuff in it, meant to clean,
and then I run it back under hot water when I'm done with it to get all the stuff off and make sure it's all clean. I put it back. Whatever.
Well, I'm glad that you and I are on the same page, but I think we are in the minority. I think if you just took a person off the street and said, hey, would you use a toothbrush after somebody else? Like 99% of people would go, no, never. I know some people that would go, not only never, but if something happened to my toothbrush where I found out someone else used it, I would buy a new toothbrush.
Right, you would change it out. I don't care. I really don't.
Oh, yeah. We're easy peasy then.
Yeah.
I will use your toothbrush while I'm sitting to pee.
Yeah. And I'll be fine.
Eating a fish fillet and tater tots. But McDonald's doesn't sell tater tots, so I can't eat.
While having poop pains that experience like labor contractions.
Yeah, while I'm passing kidney stones going, this is worse than
this is so much worse.
Can you put a movie on the projector for me? Because it's better to watch it here.
Awesome.
All right. I took up most of this because I told you come up with a couple.
Yeah, you did.
Unpopular opinions. So hit me with yours. We got time.
Do we?
Yeah.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
So I think people should be put down like dogs are. The same.
Euthanized?
Well, the same. Even in the same manner. I think I should be able to, as an adult, sign a document that says, when it's time for me, my family's, when I become a burden, they can take me into an office, give me a toy, let me lay down on the floor, and let me go to sleep and never wake up again. I've done that with my dogs. It's sad.
Oh,
it's the worst. I don't cry often. I've cried both times. Yeah. I cannot hardly drive home because of I love my dog so much. But that is really legitimately the most peaceful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like I want to go like that.
Yeah,
I don't know why people are so freaked out by I want to put my mom in a nursing home for 10 years and watch her slowly decay away and have a horrible quality of life. That sucks. I don't like that. I think you should be able to go to an office like a vet.
Yeah, I think
maybe not a vet's office, but I would go to a vet's office if they would say, "We'll give you a rhino dose and be done with it."
Yeah, and we you get a discount because people Medicare
buy two get one free.
Way too much.
Right? I don't know. So yeah.
I will agree with you, but I will say that I will have to have more input. So it's sort of an assisted suicide kind of thing, but I will need more input than just signing a piece of paper that goes at your discretion. Hit me with a shot, because you never know when people will claim that your
wife will knock you out with a bat and then drag you to the vet.
He's a burden.
He's a burden. He's a burden today.
But he sounds lucid. Nope. You just hit him with the shot. Give him a toy.
Blow dart him. He's starting to get out of control. My second.
I'll agree with that. Again, with the caveat,
all right.
I need way more input than just leaving it to my family.
Whiskey is gross. That's my second one. Everybody right now, for some reason, everybody's like, I'm into sipping whiskey. I'm into drinking. It's gross. I don't care what flavor it is, how long it's been aged, how many barrels it's been in. I cannot get into.
So you're talking straight whiskey.
I'm just people who are just sipping whiskey. If you mix it with something, that's not really just drinking whiskey. That's
okay.
But people are like, I'm Like that doesn't make you special. So what? You can sip whiskey. It tastes like you can suck on a marathon runner's toes because it tastes unique. Doesn't make it special or good. Like there's better things. There's just things that taste better that you could be drinking right now. Why are you not drinking things that taste better?
Okay. I agree with you on the person in terms of a snobbery associated with it, because I feel like whiskey right now is sort of the new wine. For a while, wine was like huge. I want to say like 2012 through 2017, it was like all the rage of these different wines, and
whiskey's now the deal.
And so and it's sort of it's sort of cyclical, and so like very high end or like and bourbons, which are the ones brewed here,
not in Scotland because those are Scotch. That's Scotch.
Right. So I like bourbon. Now I don't drink bourbon straight, hardly ever. Because it does have a very big bite to it. Yeah. But mixed with the right thing, I do like that. And you know me, because before we started this podcast, my drink of choice when we went on these Thursdays but didn't record it was bourbon and soda. Yep. And I got a whole pitcher of it. And they would make me a pitcher every time.
Bourbon and Coke, so yeah.
I've been doing that since 2000 and when, dude. A long time. But
all right.
But I agree with you that it's the new snobby thing to do.
All right. And so my last one, and then this is maybe this will get you, because it got me, but I believe it. I think you should have to have a license to own a gun and have a child.
Yeah. So that's one of those that I feel like a lot of people kind of say. It's a fun thing to think about.
I think it's a fact.
But if you had to vote for it, I think in the end you would vote no.
I would vote for it. Although I hate the government and I don't want the government running it. And that's the only problem with that whole theory. But I do think if I have to take a test every 5 years to prove that I can drive a car, like a car is way less responsibility than a child. And it's also less responsibility than floating a gun around all day. Like some of the people you allow to have guns that nobody even knows. Like you should be able to prove that you can function. You know how a gun functions and you know how to do it safely. You should be able to prove that, just like a car. You should be able to prove that you can, create an environment for a child to be successful in. And you should have a license for it. If you can't, don't have kids.
It's such a weird, because it's already sort of been put into practice.
Do you agree with that or no?
Miserably. Well, look at China.
Yes or no? Do you agree?
I love the sentiment.
Agree? Yes or no?
I disagree.
Okay. Finally, you've disagreed with one of my
completely with the child part. I still think you should have a license to own a gun. Okay. But I think the main crux of your opinion piece was the child piece.
Technically, it started with the gun, and I tacked on child. I do think it should be for a gun. I mean, like it just makes sense for me.
But I love the theory of having to have a license to own a child. But
the practice of it's probably not ever going to work.
Oh my gosh, the behaviors that it drives is again, just look at China.
Yep.
Because they want boys, and then these poor girls are all in orphanages, and now they don't have enough girls to populate over there. There's like 100 dudes for every half girl, and like they're going to have severe weird population weirdness going on because
we need that.
They tried to control
8 billion people here. Like I need everybody to do their part.
They're a huge part of the problem, and that's why they did it. But part of why they did it. It didn't. It's weird over there. It's crazy. They are having to redo their laws,
refigure all of culture
because they're like, we can't have babies now. We have too many men. The only women that we have, we're trying to hey, you got to make like 10 babies a piece.
Yeah. So that was my big 3 that I thought of I thought they would be entertaining for.
Yeah, that's entertaining.
All right, good.
And I love that conversation. Some of these I thought, man, I can make a whole show out of this, or or at least maybe 2 of these, because like that having a license to have a baby, we could probably talk about that for a little while.
Sure.
But or a couple of the ones I threw out there as well. That whole Walmart, that's one of the things that started this. Was I read that
the
Walmart
thing could be
when it said signed by all of us, and I was like, Brian, you take my name off there.
Yeah, Brian, you simmer down.
Yeah, I will Will Smith this. Take my name out your mouth.
Right, I will come on stage and smack you, Brian.
And then seeing people post it on, like, share it, like, yeah, see, that's see what greatness this is. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah. Do you believe that? Or are you just sharing memes because you're up at midnight doing nothing, doing stupid crap on Facebook?
I think people really do believe it. I mean, I've heard this in the past month. I have heard the whole Walmart does not employ me to be a checker argument or a couple like just reference. And every time I go, ooh,
I think
I get it. I get what you're saying.
I think people implant surface level complaints in Facebook that people can latch on to.
Yeah,
really. Yeah, that is wrong.
Very surface.
That you've never complained about before. Like that person put a gripe in your head. Why'd you let them put a gripe? Like you didn't care about this yesterday or an hour ago. But yet you shared it on Facebook. You're like, yes, Brian, you're so right. No, he's not.
Thank you for writing this on behalf of me.
Right. If there was no Facebook, you'd never know about Brian and you wouldn't be pissed at Walmart. You'd just be going to Walmart, doing the self-checkout. Walmart doesn't even sponsor us. We've probably said their name more times.
100 times, but they should.
They should. Anyway, so I just think that people get all fired up over like surface level complaints that they can go, yeah, that is dumb. And then they can leave it, right? It's the quick fix of I can go, yeah, it makes me mad and I left it. And don't ever think about it again.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay. Good.
I love it. We agree on that. And that's why we're friends.
Yeah. And we didn't agree on 8 out of 15 things, but that's okay.
And I said, because you like to fish, you're intellectually challenged. And we're still going to share another beer this evening.
Agree.
Which is great. So everyone should do that. If you disagree with people, you should be able to talk it out and have a conversations and debate. That's what being human is. So be better than the people on Facebook just spouting out surface level complaints. Really know what it is and have conversation about it. It's fun. It's engaging.
Yeah.
And you can stay inside to do it. You can do it outside if you want. But
you should. I 100% agree. The world needs more people who are willing to have intellectually honest conversations about what they believe and be okay with being on different sides of it.
Yeah.
I think you're stupid for sitting down to pee and it makes me more manly. So shut up and we can all move on. And I'm going to go have another beer with you. It's all good.
No, most everything you do makes you more manly than me, but that in particular.
I am. It's awesome.
All right. Well, and if you want to conversate with us a little bit, feel free to go out there. We always welcome some interaction, and it's one of our favorite things. So do that.
It is.
So until next time, thanks you. In my opinion, and around here, it's pretty much the only one that counts because I run the board. This show is OVER over.